Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom. On today's show, Duane Toews visits with Tom Zacharias about National Crop Insurance Services. Up next is this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Kyle Bauer and Warren McDougal talk about Central Life Sciences and insect growth regulators. Then it's this week's Kansas Farm Bureau Update, and we'll end with another edition of Plain Talk with Kyle and Duane. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first today, Duane Toews visits with Tom Zacharias about National Crop Insurance Services and the services they provide.
Tom, tell us a little bit about the organization and what you're about.
Our organization is a service company that works for the insurance companies that actually write the business. We don't actually sell policies or adjust claims, but we service those companies that do. We provide them loss adjustment research services. We do training and education and actuarial work, economic analysis for the companies.
When we think about crop insurance, it's well known that its importance to producers is well established in providing that safety net, if you will, to allow producers, should a catastrophe happen, that they have a chance to grow again the next year.
Absolutely. Nationwide, there's probably about 80 to or 85% of the acres have some form of crop insurance on them. Coverage levels are in excess of 70%, so high deductibles, again, nationwide. And part of that is because of the support crop insurance has received from both the House and Senate agricultural committees through the Farm Bill over the years, and it's provided that level of support and risk management for America farmers.
There is a component, though, of that, that it's kind of a three-pronged approach. The producers paying premiums. It's supported by government programs as well, and then you've got independent companies that actually make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The three-way cross-sharing in crop insurance, I think, is one thing that makes it a very compelling and good policy choices for all that involved, American taxpayer, farmers, and U.S. government. You're absolutely right. Government helps contribute to support part of the farmer's premiums. Companies are on loss adjustment and expenses to deliver the program, and the farmers, they pay a portion of the program. Last year or this year, probably $3.6 billion in farmer paid premium. And then also it's important to note that with these policies, that those 70% coverage levels or higher, farmers are absorbing that portion of the loss before they receive an indemnity. So there's a lot of cost sharing on the farmer's part.
Well, certainly it allows for everybody to have skin in the game, so to speak, and it's in everyone's best interest to make that program then successful.
Absolutely. Again, at the end of this year, we're hopeful in that regard, hopeful for the American farmer. That said, crop insurance does has its own underlying legislation, and if that doesn't be the case, farmers will still have crop insurance available in 19.
We think about the variety of options out there. The industry has been pretty responsive to the needs of the growers.
There's a lot of new products out there and a good suite of products. They can protect just their yields. There's revenue coverage, which is extremely popular in the Midwest. There's whole farm protection coverages, and now starting just at the end of this year, dairy revenue protection, which is new on the scene, which will expand farmers' capacity to absorb that risk.
Our thanks to Tom Zacharias with National Crop Insurance Services joining us on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964. Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Jordan Hildebrand with the Kansas Wheat Commission is joining us. And Jordan, the National Festival of Breads is coming up on June 8th in Manhattan, Kansas.
It's a fantastic day full of fun for anybody who likes to eat.
So what are some of the highlights for this year's National Festival of Breads?
We have a live baking competition, very much like you would see on Food Network or television stations like that. So you get to watch the finalists bake their bread, and you get to see the judges judge them at the end of the day. It's an exciting day, but we also have several baking demonstrations with a lot of exciting people, including Charlene Patton with the Kansas Soybean Commission. So she will be presenting at about 11 o'clock, talking about how to bake with young families and how to get some intergenerational mixing in the kitchen, if you will.
So can people attend the National Festival of Breads on June 8th?
Absolutely. It's a free event for the public. We just ask that you bring a canned item for the Harvesters Food Network. So it's a great day. We've got activities for the whole family. We've even got our own kids activity area where kiddos can mix up pizzas in a bag, as well as face painting and a bunch of fun stuff that the entire family will have a really great time with. We have this partnership with the Kansas Soybean Commission, which we really value. They have been sponsors of the National Festival of Bread since 2013. And so it's a really great way for both of the commissions to partner together on a national scale. And so bakers from all around the country learn about the versatility of soybean products, especially in their baking. And so this year, the Kansas Soybean Commission Special Award were the Lucky 5-Spice Cloverleaf Rolls created by Shauna Havey in the Blogger Division, and the Sicilian Star Bread developed by Brenda Watts in the Home Baker Division. And what's really exciting is both of those award winners are actually finalists in the contest as well. So Brenda will be taking her Sicilian Star Bread up to the finalist level and will be baking that off in Manhattan. But Shauna Havey, while her cloverleaf rolls are delicious, she will actually be baking another recipe in Manhattan. So there's still a pretty good chance that a soybean creation will end up being the National Festival of Bread's champion, but we will announce that on June 8th, and we'd love to see everybody there.
And they can go to the website to get more information?
Absolutely. nationalfestivalofbreads.com. We've got a whole schedule packed full of exciting items that people can take a look at.
Jordan, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is Jordan Hildebrand with the Kansas Wheat Commission, who joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor as Kyle Bauer visits with Warren McDougal.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here, the time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now we learn about insect growth regulators with Kyle Bauer and Warren McDougal.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer. I'm visiting with Warren McDougal. He's with Central Life Sciences, and they do a lot of insect prevention work. And I want to call your product for grain an insecticide, but that's actually not correct.
No, it's not. It's actually an insect growth regulator. It works by impeding the insect's ability to go from a larval stage to an adult. So, you know, I kind of kid around saying it's kind of like birth control for bugs. I mean, once you have no new adults, you're not going to create additional eggs, new larvae. So you break that insect life cycle.
And truly, we try to clean out the bins and try to make sure that we don't have the insects inside, but they're going to get in, and the amount of reproductive ability of those insects is just staggering.
Oh, it's unreal. Just for an example, one Indian meal moth, her progeny within 180 days at ideal temperatures can exceed 1 billion eggs laid in 180 days.
And your product doesn't treat a problem, it prevents a problem.
Correct. It's all preventive. You're trying to put it in or on grain to maintain the quality of that grain so you don't get an insect infestation within that grain.
The thing that I think is interesting on your product as well is that it's not terribly expensive.
No, it runs about 2 cents a bushel on average. Here again, depending on the rate, the formulation, you know, it might be as much as 5 cents if folks are going to use a dry product. Say for on-farm storage, but 2 to 5 is a reasonable range.
And normally, how would that be applied?
Well, generally, we do a lot of liquid applications where we're using water. We're putting 5 gallons of water that has the Diacon within it on 1,000 bushels of grain. That's the most preferred option, but we also have a dry product that is really kind of targeted at the on-farm market, where as they're unloading the trucks, they're loading that bin, they can throw a scoop into the auger pit every so often with the goal of trying to get about 8 to 10 pounds of Diacon D per 1,000 bushel.
You know, the thing is, when you put grain in the bin, sometimes we know how fast it's going to come out, but a lot of times we don't because it depends on what the market is. Interestingly enough, with your product, it doesn't matter if it's been in there a short time or a long time.
That's correct. That's the neat thing about Diacon is it lasts such a long time. Generally, we see at the right rate, we're going to get good insecticidal control for 18 to 24 months.
And if I treat it, the next guy doesn't really mind that it's been recently treated with your product.
No, we've got all the Codex approvals. In fact, Diacon is tolerance exempt from the EPA. It has no effect on a mammal because we're not an insect, and the thing that impacts in an insect is a juvenile hormone within that insect. So it's essentially benign to you and I.
So it makes it safe to handle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very safe.
So there's a lot of different ways nowadays that we see that we're storing grain out here on the plains, whether it's in a bunker or flat storage or normal bins. Will it work in all those different situations?
It does. I mean, there are some situations where I think it's really a no-brainer. I mean, if you've got a facility that is difficult to fumigate or it's difficult to turn that grain, Diacon really fits those situations, like flat storage, like bunkers that are being built. Even, we're seeing the popularity of the tube type storage. It would make it ideal within that to help protect that grain while it's in those tubes sitting along the edge of the field.
We're visiting with Warren McDougal. He's with Central Life Sciences. We've been talking about their product, Diacon. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
About 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulder sure hurt. I kept waiting and it didn't get better and didn't get better. I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio. Got down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over, and it just kept getting better and better. And within 6 weeks I was back digging post holes and doing the other hard work that I'd been doing before the accident. And I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide, presented by Lucas Oil, featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV, the all-new Better Horses Network.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
Roger and Tony Glenn operate a fifth-generation farm in Finney County. With their son Skylar, they own and operate more than 4,500 acres of dry land crops. Roger is also the head operator of a farrow-to-finish hog operation, in which he and Tony own 14 sows. The hogs are raised for harvest or sold to local 4-H and FFA members to show. Roger is currently Vice President of Finney County Farm Bureau and has served on KFB's Swine Advisory Committee for years. Tony and Roger enjoy participating in their community through Farm Bureau by helping with the Finney County Farm Bureau pedal pull and speaking at ag and the classroom events. Tony and Roger are active in the Prairie View Church of the Brethren. Tony has volunteered for more than 20 years with the local 4-H program, serving on the Extension Board and as a club leader. Roger serves on the High School Agriculture Advisory Committee and in the local FFA Alumni Chapter. Roger says he sees a future relationship between farmers and consumers growing to where consumers believe they can trust those who produce their food. Roger says Kansas Farm Bureau is continually working to fulfill this vision for agriculture.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways, of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's join Kyle and Duane for a little plain talk.
Kelly.
Hello, hello, hello to all my fans in Toyland.
It's time to start.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with Duane Checkered Shirt Toews.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Why break the streak?
Exactly, though I like that one. Is that new?
It is a newer shirt.
I was going to say, I don't
Somebody
recall
said you
seeing
got to
that
be confident in your manhood to wear pink and baby blue.
That's
together.
what I thought. I was going to call it teal.
Yeah.
So, of course, I kind of pulled my man card even knowing the word teal. And then
Close, but I won't give you too much grief. Your fact or fiction question of the day.
You won't give me too much grief. All right.
The Riesling wine. Have you heard of Riesling wine?
Absolutely.
That originated in Australia. Not Australia. Austria. I'm sorry. Austria. Home of Riesling grapes.
Well,
fact or fiction?
They're always named after the grape. But I don't know where the home of Riesling grapes are. I'll go with fiction.
It is fiction. I thought I might get you with that.
Where are Riesling grapes from?
Germany.
Germany.
Doesn't Riesling sound like a good German name?
Riesling, Westweinbau, it's fun. Yeah. I used to have somewhere along the line in my choir days, I sang I think that was a Bach song. We sang Bach in junior high.
Really?
Yes, we were really good. What's wrong?
I got a cramp in my leg. I've never had that happen in studio before.
Oh, well, on radio it usually doesn't matter, but we're not doing radio.
I know, but I'm about to cry.
I want to make sure everybody, be sure to put the camera on him.
Oh.
You're not going to file a workers' comp claim, are you?
I need to drink more water.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
that was
something you don't do much of.
Uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. So were you aren't a singer?
Well,
I mean, did you sing coming through school, or were you the one who stood on the back row and they told you to mouth but not make any noise?
No, I was a better singer than I was trumpet player.
Okay.
Trumpet lasted 1 semester. Choir lasted 3 years of high school, I believe.
Oh, wow. Well, that's impressive. So
the
you didn't
one
do
thing
your
I remember,
senior year?
and I wish I could give kudos to my choral instructor, but too many people don't understand that you don't need to hit the R too hard in words, because then it sounds really harsh.
Yeah.
You just kind of glide across the R when you're singing.
You learned that in choir?
I did.
That's the only thing you learned in choir.
And it seems odd, but like when I'm singing in church, the congregation, we sing like 4 songs at the beginning of our service. And
4 at just the beginning?
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't sing any in the middle, though. We get it all our singing out to start with.
So if you come in a little late, you
You're
just
out.
skip that 15 minutes.
You're done. You don't get to sing that week.
Well, or you didn't miss anything.
Or
depending
stay
on
for
how
the
you-
second service, possibly. Yeah. Just stay through that part of the second service.
Our early service, we sang 2 songs, and it is a contemporary service.
Okay.
And has lots of children in it, and lots of parents with children. You know how that works.
Sure.
So it's awfully hard. I used to say the most unchristian thing we did every week was get our kids ready for church. And they certainly have developed the norm that it is not unacceptable and or anyone will look down on you if you come into church while we're singing.
Okay.
I mean, because everybody understands that it is, we're just happy
We're
you're
happy you're here.
Whatever you make it is just fine.
Yeah.
So we give you about 8 minutes of grace there at the beginning, because 2 songs.
Okay.
And so no one will even hardly notice because we're standing anyway. So You can sneak right in the first 8 minutes and
nobody
wipe
will
the
even
sweat off and pull the sock out of the kid's mouth and start to be Christian-like.
ready to listen up and take part.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.